Ladies and gentlemen from all across the nation, welcome to the new week of the Playmakers Bar Podcast College Football Edition. You know me, Darnell, the Playmaker Silence. You know my partner in crime, Dallas Glenn. How you doing?
Doing good, doing good.
Well, Dallas, our episode has got a lot more interesting all of a sudden because we're going to get into some of the surprise on PE teams through 5 weeks of college football. As always, Dallas Glenn got your group of five, top five, and we're going to recap that. We're going to talk about Ohio State and Clemson. But first, Dallas. The state of California has done something unprecedented.
Which is?
They have signed a Fair Pay to Play Act in the state of California, meaning college athletes have the opportunity of making money from their likeness, images, etc.
You know what the interesting thing about California's act is? We always talk about in the debate of college athletes getting paid. Darnell, let's be honest. We only talk about the athletes in the revenue-making sports. We only talk about the Zions. We only talk about the Baker Mayfields. We're not talking about the softball players where pro softball is a huge step down from college. We're not talking about the track and field athletes where their best chance to make an Olympic team is actually taking advantage of the major Division I resources. Like, the California Fair Play Act, it will benefit athletes in football and basketball in the short term because the NCAA should not lie. The NCAA should not try to insult our intelligence. You cancel NCAA football and basketball because you don't want to pay the players' royalties. You try to regulate NBA agents and try to tell them what they can and cannot do. And the agents, rightfully and smartly, and throwing that thing around to prove their point, say, you ain't regulating a damn thing. Shut up, you little nonprofit. And then thank God that, the Drew Rosenhauses of the world haven't had to, let the NCAA know who's boss when it comes to agents and junior years and stuff like that. You don't hear about this happening in track. You don't hear about this happening in baseball. You don't hear about this happening in the other sports where they don't make money. And truth be told, they're probably damned if they do, damned if they don't. The Fair Play Act is going to benefit non-revenue sports way more than the for-profit sports because, Darnell, here's what's going to happen. The NCAA is basically on its last leg. Once the American government tries to step in and assist a population group with something, it doesn't matter what you are. As long as you are a 501c nonprofit, you best to get in line. And the NCAA isn't going to want its biggest money-making streams of income to make them pay more money and actually have to reinvest those expenses into helping out the players they're supposed to be making sure are still amateurs. They're supposed to be making sure aren't getting taken advantage of by agents and the media and boosters and whatnot. I mean, what do you take from it?
So I read the ESPN article. So with this act being passed in California, with the help of LeBron James, by the way, throwing that out there, colleges cannot penalize the students for making endorsement money. That's the words that were used in the act. Also, reading the article, pretty much the college athletes cannot be punished by the colleges for making endorsement money. That's what they call it, endorsement money. Read along. Now, with that being said, though, is one thing they did say that was to help the schools. If the school is sponsored by Under Armour, the college applicant can't wear Nike. So you still have to confine to what is sponsored by the school, as far as when it comes to uniforms and stuff like that. But now, reading along, they said Government has been waiting a very long time for the NCAA to do something about this issue. And to your point, Dallas, the NCAA really never did anything.
Mm-hmm.
And the issue kept growing and growing and growing. And to the point is like, okay, you know what? The government is stepping in now. So the NCAA is at fault at this because they should have been took care of this.
Yeah, and you know what the crazy thing is? California is one of the 3 major high school hotbeds of talent. So here's what's going to happen. The NCAA is one intercollegiate trade association. There's about like 7. 3 you've heard of, 4 or 5 you haven't. But California has basically their own like community college system. So Darnell, the NCAA has screwed this pooch immensely because they wanted to hold to their guns when all they had to do was EA Sports wants to pay the players. EA Sports was going to pay the players their royalties and likeness. They were all good. The NCAA blocked EA Sports from paying out of their own bank accounts royalties to players. If they let the games come back, if they let football and basketball players get a little something, softball, volleyball, track, baseball, everything's back to normal. The football and basketball players get a little bit of money. The NCAA wins in the end. Now, you have one of the biggest hotbeds of talent with track. Track Olympians can make the Olympics at a community college. They can make it at a D2 or D3. You got baseball. Now you got baseball players thinking, well, you know, I got drafted in the 2nd round. I'll be in the minors for like a year and a half, if that. If I tear it up and win a Golden Spikes Award at CSU, Bakersfield, or whatever the hell, I can get a cleat deal. I could be in some magazine. California's made it to where it's like everybody from Texas and Florida are going to be like, why would I play for a conservative SEC coach who wants me to bear down and toe the company line when California clearly got the message? All we wanted was $200 a year, if that, from the damn video games. Now California is saying we could get paid.
So, yeah, that is prepare for a pipeline to come down because not too far. I'm pretty sure Texas, Florida, New York are not far behind.
Yeah, man.
So the NCAA, they better think of something real quick, fast, in a hurry, because now it's getting real serious.
Yeah, because dude, here's the thing. California is famous for how liberal they are. Texas and Florida are way more conservative, but Darnell, here's the catch. California is thinking about these kids as college students who are getting railroaded and who are being like taken advantage of for the sake of a nonprofit organization making way too much profit. They're trying to regulate society. They're trying to help society rebalance. Florida and Texas, they're going to look at it from, okay, these kids are the proprietors of their body. These kids are offering their services in exchange for educational aid and, products in exchange for their talents on the field. And they're making their schools a lot of money playing quarterback for Oklahoma or Texas. They're making their schools a lot of money bringing Florida up from the brink after the starting quarterback went down. They're making their schools a lot of money when 20 years ago they were in the FCS. And now they're fighting for group of 5 national championships and claiming for the best program in their state, being 30 minutes away from Universal Studios in Orlando. If these kids were to get the right attorneys, if the business majors and the MBAs at this school and the frats and the sororities were to band together and come with this the right way, the states will listen if they're not being able to capitalize on the products and services they can offer to their utmost ability. Because Darnell, Tim Tebow and Johnny Manziel are Hall of Fame college football players. Johnny Manziel and Tim Tebow will go down as two of the most dominant college football quarterbacks ever. And they didn't do a damn thing in the National Football League. One is playing minor league baseball. He will never play for the Mets in the regular season. And another one is doing direct auto commercials. Now that they're older, they can do Nissan Heisman House commercials. Now that they're out of the pros and out of college, they can go to Florida events and get paid speaker fees and everything. But Darnell, when Tim Tebow was at the height, when Tim Tebow as a quarterback was breaking Herschel Walker rushing records, when Johnny Manziel was out there running around and throwing it across the field and upsetting Alabama, what could they do then? Johnny Manziel couldn't even sign an autograph. If Texas and Florida, if one of those two get on board, being conservative states, the NCAA is screwed. Hell, the students from Northwestern, they ain't get that far, but it shows what can happen if a bunch of smart-ass kids at an elite school get together and start looking at something.
That's your opening segment right there. So, it's finna get more interesting now. Be on the lookout, see what other states is finna pass this bill. Moving on, though, to our regularly scheduled program. Mr. Glenn.
Yes.
Let us talk some G5, shall we?
Well, Darnell, is when you ball, you get the call. And around 30-something years ago, there were these damn Mustangs running the triple option. Maybe it was the double option, because, they had that one small quarterback that liked to roll out to the right and all that good stuff. They made a movie about him called The Pony Express. And The Pony Express was basically about the wild oil fields and everything of Dallas, Texas, and Southern Methodist University, and what they were doing to be one of the best programs in college football. And then this thing called the death penalty happened. And ever since the death penalty, Darnell, SMU has been toiling, scratching, clawing, recruiting bust after recruiting bust. God damn it, they even had Deion Sanders' son playing wide receiver and kick return, and ain't shit happened from that. But Darnell, after 30 years, the Ponies of Dallas, Texas are back. SMU has cracked not only the group of five, top five for the second week in a row, but Darnell, they are ranked 24th in the AP.
Ladies and gentlemen, shout out to SMU. Undefeated on the season, and we'll get to that undefeated season in a bit. Man, these are ranked in the top 25. To be honest, as I think, I don't think a lot of people noticed this, but I did. I don't know if you did. But kind of slick. Because SMU wasn't ranked in the top 25, right? But we still had three Group of 5 teams ranked in the top 25, right?
Actually,
if I remember correctly, the top 3 teams in the previous week of our top 5 list were ranked in the top 25. So how come it's still 3 teams in a group of 5 ranked in the top 25 instead of 4? Because last time I checked, Appalachian State didn't lose. They still undefeated. And if I remember, that was right in the top 25, weren't they, last week?
Well, Darnell, I'm looking at the bottom, and Houston, we might have a problem. Oklahoma State last week. It's not ranked. Arizona State last week was not ranked. Wake Forest last week was not ranked. We have 4 teams in here that were not ranked from the vile Power 5. You mean to tell me that, App State, who ended last season in top 25 and was in the top 25 last week, should have got pushed out for oh God, kind of threw up in my mouth when I thought about it. Oklahoma State or Wake Forest? I mean, and let's think about the teams that you decided to keep in. Darnell, I'm going to just list off the records from 20 to 25. And I'm not going to tell you the names of the schools because you'll know which one sticks out. 4-1, 4-1, 5-0, 4-1, 5-0, 3-2, 4-1. Darnell, why is that 3-2 team in there? Darnell, why the hell do I see 225s on the AP News official website?
See, now, to be honest, the Group of Five thing is Dallas's thing. I just so happen to know it's like, wait a minute. I thought there should be 4 Group of Five teams in the top 25.
And this is why we do the Group of Five, top of 5 people, because UCF kind of blurred the whole purpose of this shindig. UCF and the fake national championship, as some people like to call, kind of, lost focus of the bigger problem in the bigger issue. Darnell, why the hell is Jimbo Fisher's Texas A&M at 3-2 still ranked in the top 25?
Well, I'll get to that when we talk Power 5. A lot of rank is going to be changing after this weekend. I guarantee you. So, Memphis took down Navy.
Mm-hmm.
As expected, Temple beat Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
Cincinnati put on a show against Marshall. Same as Hawaii to Nevada.
That's the year going to have Nevada season.
When you get beat 56-6 at home.
Darnell, they say there's certain things called bounce back games. They say there's things called wake up games. I find it hard to believe that Hawaii got full of themselves and that Washington woke them back up and brought them back down to earth. But when they smack up a team that was in our Group of 5 top 5 not too long ago, a team that already beat a Power 5 team at home in a comeback victory, dare I say Washington was a wake up game?
I've been hearing a wake up game a lot this week. But I'm going to save it for the NFL podcast when I get to show my displeasure of what happened. So, Group of 5 is still interesting. It's not getting boring. It's getting even more interesting now. Mm-hmm. So, we'll not stop talking about the Group of 5 no time soon. So, with that being said, go ahead and give us the top 5 list.
Well, Hawaii and App State on our list won't be neglected. It should be noted, Darnell, that Appalachian State did get 50 votes. Memphis got 71, and, Cal got 141. 25 were tied for 147, so I guess that's why there's 2 25 teams. So Appalachian State did get respect in the fact that 50 people remembered that they didn't lose a game. Hawaii is 5th because they blew out an in-conference opponent. Right now, they're right in the thick of it with Wyoming and Boise State for the Mountain West Conference Championship in the regular season. And even though we can't talk about it this week, there's a game happening October 12th that will be very interesting for the ramifications of our mythical national championship and the Group of 5 top 5. Because of that, and because they're going into a bye, and it's very hard to lose in your bye week, we have to keep them 5, even though Temple has had some very impressive wins. App State, like you said, Darnell, they never lost. And they blew the hell out of a conference opponent. We're in the phase of the season now, Darnell, where it's like, hey, your conference is your conference. If you're blowing out people in your conference, maybe you are that damn good. And then the top 3 is going to reflect the order of the AP Top 25. Them damn ponies from Dallas, Southern Methodist University, are number 3. UCF, the Golden Knights of Orlando, are 2. And still undefeated, never lost, done did this before, Fiesta Bowl. The Boise State Broncos of Boise, Idaho, are number 1. Currently ranked 16th in the AP Top 25 poll. If the season were to end today, they would be in the New Year's 6.
Boise State, CF, SMU, Appalachian State, and Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
As you all know, those will be on Facebook and Twitter. But before we end the Group of Five talk, Dallas, there are 3 Group of Five teams that are unbeaten.
Mm-hmm.
Surprisingly unbeaten, should I say. Not just unbeaten. I said surprisingly unbeaten. 2 of them is in the top 5.
Mm-hmm.
Southern Miss, Appalachian State. And the 3rd team that's unbeaten, that's surprisingly unbeaten, is the Memphis Tigers.
You know what? I want you to explain why it's surprising that Memphis and Appalachian State are unbeaten.
Yeah, well, surprisingly, because let's go to Appalachian State. They the ones that ended the North Carolina story very quickly. On the road.
Yeah, this is the same Appalachian State that ever since they beat a top 5 team at Michigan, they've been pulling Boise States from the FCS and now the Sun Belt ever since. Are we really gonna act like it's that much of a surprise that they beat a UNC team after being in the FBS for 3 seasons? I mean, Coastal Carolina, Charlotte, East Tennessee State, North Carolina. After they were getting full of themselves with a 2-0 start. And Mac Brown's first season back in forever. Is it really that much of a surprise?
To you, that's a fair point. But my question is, where the losses coming? Because they don't finish. They usually don't finish the season unbeaten. So where are the losses going to come at?
Who doesn't usually finish the season unbeaten?
Appalachian State. They usually have a loss or 2 in there somewhere. But we in week 6 now, so where the losses going to come from?
I mean, you're pretty much looking at Georgia Southern, that triple option, maybe South Carolina, SEC team that's going to be trying to get bowl eligible. Louisiana Lafayette's record ain't nothing to sniff at right now either. I think that's a 1-loss team. The Sun Belt, you kind of have to pare it down. Different weight class. Take things for what they're worth. But, I mean, I don't know, man. The reason why I argue so much, now see, Memphis, you may have a point. I won't argue Memphis as hard as I'm arguing Appalachian State because we have to remember, Darnell, this team in the final college football playoff poll, not the coaches poll, not the AP Top 25, the college football playoff committee put this team in at the end of the season. So, I mean, East Tennessee State, Charlotte, UNC, Coastal Carolina. Hell, I mean, they've barely left the damn campus this season.
Memphis. Ole Miss 15-10. Southern, yeah. South Alabama, yeah. Navy. I think that game right.
The spread is what surprised me more than anything. I would have thought that spread would have been a lot closer.
So, they still got UCF on the schedule. They still got Cincinnati on the schedule. I don't know if they got Houston on the schedule, though. The weird thing about Houston is Houston's going to be a B word for Memphis and UCF because Houston already has 2 losses. Houston's season's already in the tank. So, Memphis and UCF with, even though Memphis is already undefeated, dude, UCF with a loss in their schedule and Memphis looking at, over their shoulder, that Houston game is going to be tricky. I think that it's easier to pick when Memphis is going to lose than it is when App State's going to lose. Because you're talking about that South Carolina game for App State all the way in November. Who knows the way South Carolina's program has been trending, where they're going to be at that point. The students could be storming the field if South Carolina wins with a last-second field goal. They'll be so desperate. Sticking with the American Conference, SMU, who's ranked 24th in the top 25, is surprisingly unbeaten. Now, that is a surprise. I ain't going to argue a damn thing about that. Arkansas State, North Texas, Texas State, at TCU, at South Florida. Oh, there's a lot of losses. There's a lot of potential losses there. No, that's all the games that they won. Oh, shit. And they scored at least 37 in every last one of them. Arkansas State, they scored 37. North Texas, they scored 49. Texas State, they scored 47. At TCU, they put up 41. At South Florida, they put up 48. They're in the American Conference, so most likely they'll probably see Houston and Navy and Cincinnati. I don't think they see UCF. Ooh, do they? Ooh, I need to find out. Do they play? I need to see if they play UCF. Because Southern Miss and UCF get together. That needs to be a game of the week.
Oh yeah.
No, they do not.
Damn.
Because man, the Ponies are unbeaten. Going into conference play. So, Boise is Boise. But at some point, they got to deal with Utah State, Fresno State, San Diego State.
Oh, Darnell. I feel as if you're skipping over a game that's coming up very, very, very soon.
Is it about UCF? No, I'm not.
I thought you were talking about Boise. Because
I was talking about Boise. They still got to play the Mountain West. So, and Hawaii's on the schedule too. So,
for UCF or Boise?
Boise.
Yeah. Okay. Somebody's gonna mess up.
So Appalachian State, Southern Miss might be the lone unbeaten going towards late November. Should I say?
Here's the crazy thing, because now is the part of the season going into conference play where we do the hypotheticals. Out of everybody, Appalachian State has the easiest road to the Play America's Flag National Championship. A, because they have an SEC team on their schedule left to play, and it'll be late in the season. B, because they already have a Power 5 win against an ACC team. And C, because Boise State, somebody's going to catch Boise State. If Boise State goes undefeated the way that the Mountain West Conference opened up the season this year, and the fact that Boise State has precedence with past Fiesta Bowls and Sugar Bowls and stuff like that, like, dude, it's going to be very, very interesting, because I don't know if the AP and the College Football Playoff Committee are going to let a Sun Belt team up in the rankings. If App State runs the table and Boise State and UCF both have one loss, App State's only going to get to 20. They're going to hold strength of schedule against them. But
and with Boise State and probably UCF would still be ranked above them.
Yeah, but 2 losses. Because all 3 conferences, Sun Belt, Mountain West, American, have conference title games. That's the trick. The Houston game, the Utah State game, the Hawaii game, Fresno State, the Mountain West Conference Championship game. So, 2 losses, that's different. Because then if you hold Boise State or UCF above an undefeated Appalachian State and they have 2 losses, you're basically admitting that they're better than Appalachian State because of precedent, because of strength of schedule, because of who they played and how they played. But if you can admit that for being above an undefeated Sun Belt team, why can't you admit that in other scenarios?
Well, for all you small schools, you group of 5 schools, things going to get more interesting in this race. But sticking with this topic, but switching to the Power 5, there are 3 surprisingly unbeaten teams in the Power 5, Dallas. Wake Forest at 22 in the AP Top 25. Baylor is unbeaten, and Minnesota is unbeaten.
Now, that Minnesota thing, more than any of the other ones, is what's got me tripping. I think it's surprising the AP, too, because Minnesota is not on this list.
South Dakota State at Fresno. They went to Fresno State and beat Fresno. Georgia Southern, and they went to Purdue and beat Purdue.
Real quick. Wake Forest, Minnesota, and who else?
Baylor. Them Bears.
That's interesting because Baylor and Minnesota only have 19 and 15 votes from the AP poll, respectively. So maybe it's surprising to way more people than you, Darnell, because
Baylor, Stephen F. Austin, Texas San Antonio, they went to Rice and won, and they beat Iowa State. Dang, Iowa State already got some bad losses already.
It's tricky when you're in the state that Baylor and Minnesota are in. Minnesota has not been a BCS or college football playoff contender in forever. Baylor was on top of the world. Baylor was having quarterbacks, first round, NFL draft prospects. Baylor was having successors that ended up going in the lower rounds. But Baylor was, wide receivers, defensive ends, they were everywhere. And then the scandals happened. And then the BS happened. And before you know it, you're turning around and Baylor has wide receivers playing quarterback some game. So, Darnell, yes, you're surprised that after the first month they have such good records. But then you look at the schedules. And these schedules are for programs that are rebuilding. These schedules are for programs that know we don't have the best rosters in the conference. We won't have a shot to win the conference unless we walk in it undefeated with some good quality reps and some solid wins. We need some schools where we can get ahead early and get the second and stringers experienced. We need some wins where, when we try to bring recruits in during the first couple of weeks of their football season so they can focus on states, we're not getting blown the hell out by somebody from the bottom of the SEC. So, but Wake Forest
ranked 22. Utah State at Rice. Dang, everybody beating up on Rice, huh? They went to Boston College and beat Boston College.
And also, they're 5-0 going into week 6, which means that they're some of the hardest working men in this business. Haven't had an off week yet. That goes a long way.
I think they got one this week.
Huh?
I think they got one this week.
Good. It goes a long way when you actually play the first month. Because when you're trying to show people a little something, when you're trying to stay in the eyes of the poll, you can't be taking a week off in week 2 after beating up on so-and-so state from the FCS. Tired for what?
Yeah, Wake Forest has a bye week. Baylor is at K-State, and Minnesota has Illinois.
Well, they'll probably beat Illinois. K-State, Baylor, it's going to be a tad bit more interesting.
So, those are your surprisingly unbeaten teams heading into October.
I'm curious how long Wake Forest is going to keep this up, because certain things happened with North Carolina and those damn Tar Heels last Saturday that have some people wondering.
Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? It's a long process. It's a hard thought out process. Yeah, I know. I was there from March of this year, thinking about how I'm going to do this, doing all my research, trying to get everything right. What platforms can we use and how we going to record it and how we going to make it sound good and make it all this happen. And then I came upon Anchor, the Anchor app on my phone, the easiest choice I could ever make to do a podcast. It's free to use. You don't got to pay for nothing. You can record episodes whenever you're ready. You can edit it and then you can release it when you want to. And you don't have to worry about trying to figure out how you're going to distribute it on other platforms, because Anchor has partnerships with Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Castbox, Pocket Cast, whatever you name it. Because the Playmakers Bar podcast is the podcast that I use. We are on all them platforms. We are on 9 platforms just by using the Anchor app. So pretty much all the questions that you have questions about doing a podcast, go to the Anchor app or go to the Anchor website, anchor.fm.com, and just search through it, ask questions. Because I'll tell you, a free app that does all this, there's nothing more you can ask for. I even got friends, they doing their podcast on the Anchor app. Faith Talk, you might have heard of it because it's very good. And it's great that It's an app like this, it's a website like this that makes it easier for people to do podcasts and do what they love best, talking about the things that they love to talk about. So give Anchor a try, see how much you like it. We'll love to hear your podcast.
I don't know why they're wondering. Some people wondering.
Perfect segue, my friend. Perfect segue, because as we dive into the big news to recap this previous week of Week 5, the defending champs almost got upset by the Tar Heels.
Oh.
They escaped Chapel Hill. Meanwhile, Alabama decided to end their game against was it Ole Miss, I believe, in the second quarter.
Well, you know, Darnell, whenever you hear about an Alabama wide receiver breaking school receiving records, that's usually how you know the other team must have got blown out, because Alabama and receiving records usually don't go together.
Hey, Michigan got a victory. Yay for Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, well, you know.
Notre Dame took care of Virginia.
Yeah, well, you know. Speaking of which, Virginia's still in this damn poll.
Oklahoma. Good gracious. I don't even know what to say after that.
Here's the weird thing, real quick, before you keep going. Oklahoma ain't going to do a damn thing in the playoff, just like last year, if they make the playoff. But at this point, I don't even think Oklahoma gives a damn about the national championship. They're about to have 3 straight quarterbacks win the Heisman.
So, I mean, Clemson, you're not number 1 no more.
It happens.
That damn Crimson Tide of Alabama number 1 now. By the way. I did say something last week that retained it to Ohio State, right?
I think so.
Did they or did they not send a message to everybody?
Ooh. Well,
I told y'all they got blown out twice in this situation the past 2 years, right? And I said they're gonna be the ones doing the blowout. Scott Frost, how did that butt whooping feel? Gabrielle Union, Dwayne Wade, how do y'all feel right now? After what these boys did to y'all.
I mean, the average margin of victory is not pretty for Ohio State. It's been, and here's the sad thing. 2 of the teams they done whooped up on are from the Big Ten. They already have 2 conference victories.
What's the average margin of victory again?
Let's see, you got a 24 spot against Florida Atlantic, a 42 spot against Cincinnati, a 41 spot against Indiana, a 71 spot against Miami of Ohio, and a 41 spot against Ohio State. I'm not good at means and averages, but I'm pretty sure they're banking well over 30 points per game margin of victory. Well over.
Don't worry. I'll get to Ohio State's next victim when we get to our game picks.
My pick's looking real good right now.
Just let you know, I'm throwing a pick out there already. Yes, I'm picking Ohio State. I tell you who's gonna be the
You ain't
victim.
smash mouth your way out of this one.
Because they treat everybody like they Brock Lesnar and everybody else is just victims. So so I think we got through everything we needed to get through, right?
Did we?
I believe so, because Oklahoma, Alabama, they all did that. LSU did drop a spot for not playing, which is unaware to me, but they wanted to put Ohio State at 4, and LSU dropped down to 5.
Amazing. But, again, hey, I literally just said it. When you think about
by the way, I do got a bone to pick with AP top 25 besides the whole thing. So they rewarded Notre Dame for beating Virginia, in which I don't think nobody had any faith in Virginia anyway. I believe that was you the one that said you didn't even know why they was ranked in the first place.
I still hold that.
We had a tune-up game in Florida, and the other team didn't even score a damn point.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think the other team reached 20.
Nah.
And we got penalized. So Notre Dame's at 9, and we get dropped to 10.
I mean,
so this weekend, I have a problem with y'all this week.
I mean, Dude, you guys play Townsend. I don't even know if Townsend's in the FBS, but your complaint and gripe isn't even acknowledging like the bigger problem. Dude, like LSU gets dropped. You guys fall a little bit. Notre Dame gets rewarded. But the bigger problem is, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from the SEC, 1, 2 from the Big Ten, and then 1 from the IA Independents and the Big 12. Like, dude, there's 5 SEC teams. There's 5 SEC teams. I know that this is just the AP, and the AP is just like the newspaper and stuff, but Darnell, we know what this era is. We know what this era is supposed to be. Why are we still doing this? We're 6 or 7 years into the playoff, man. Oklahoma ain't gonna do shit if they play Alabama or Clemson today. Notre Dame ain't gonna do shit if they play Georgia, Clemson, Alabama, or Ohio State or LSU today. Why? Why are we playing these games? Why do we have Georgia ranked 3rd, knowing good and damn well they literally have to see LSU or Alabama in a conference championship game, which is basically a wild card playoff game at this point? Why are we doing this? Why? Why do we do this every single year? Why do we do this same song and dance every year? Because you're going to penalize Clemson for winning on the road against a conference opponent. And you're going to reward Notre Dame for beating in Virginia. But we're going to have we're going to have Georgia and Alabama 1 and 3, knowing they have to play each other in a conference title game.
LSU at 5. Auburn at 7.
Like, bro, like they all have to play each other. What are we doing? We're keeping Virginia in, and we're putting Texas A&M in, but we're kicking out California for losing on the road in conference. We're kicking out freaking Appalachian State, and they didn't lose a game. What has Jimbo Fisher shown you in the past 3 seasons? That his team just has to be ranked. That his team is just that much more talented than California, Memphis, App State, or even Army. Like, bro, I understand. The SEC is the best conference. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is that, bro, one of 2 things need to happen. The AP either needs to start ranking towards the future and stop being ticky-tacky with spots moving one team down and one team up or vice versa, or we need the CFP committee to start getting on their asses a little bit earlier. Because I think it's asinine that, and I'm sure you're not the only Florida fan. I think it's asinine that Florida fans and other fans in college football right now have to sit here and watch the APA. I mean, the AP. I missed the APA, but watch the AP Top 25 poll. Try their best to make Notre Dame relevant. Try their best to make Oklahoma seem like a contender, but penalize Clemson for winning a close game on the road and having the SEC all up in the top 10. Just stop it. Stop it, bro. Stop it. Because the rankings at this point don't even matter anymore. We don't even go off the AP Top 25 rankings for the New Year's Six Bowl for the Group of 5. We go off the CFP rankings.
Those don't come out till a month now.
That's what I'm saying. Like, dude, we're too deep in the college football playoff era for the committee to sit here and act like they need 8 weeks of data to basically just put out something that's almost identical to the AP Top 25 Bowl. You basically wait 8 weeks and just slap up a top 25 with a couple teams switched around. That's all you do. They can start doing that a little bit earlier because it makes no sense for Georgia and Alabama to both be in the top 4 right now, and everybody knows they have to play each other.
That's where we are at. So I think we got our problem out the way for right now.
Yeah.
I feel a little bit better now. Now it's time to get to these games. And yes, I'm putting the group of 5 and the Power 5 together as we pick Kansas this week. So with that being said, Mr. Glenn, you still got a 2-game lead on me because we both went 8-2.
Damn.
I beat the brakes off Nevada.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, I tell you, I can't catch a break. Anyway, Friday night, Dallas, are you ready for this?
Ooh.
18 UCF on the road to Cincinnati.
Last year this was a marquee game, Darnell. Last year this was one of the biggest games in college football, to be honest. Wasn't this on ABC?
Last year, it was the game of the
on
week.
ABC last week. Last year.
Dallas game day was up.
Man, now we're in a situation where UCF, they're literally playing for their football lives. They've already dropped one, and it was to a Power 5 team. So, Cincinnati didn't forget. Cincinnati had UCF that entire game until. But I don't know, man. I think you pick UCF because UCF has just been able to just keep going. They change coaches, keep going. Quarterbacks get hurt, keep going. Receivers get drafted in the first round, keep going. Linebackers get drafted, keep going. They just find a way. And Cincinnati, I think that a lot of people are going to write them off because of the way they lost to Ohio State. But that's still going to end up being a good team. I'll still pick UCF, though.
We're both going Knights. Dallas, this next one. Matter of fact, the next two going to be kind of tough for you, sir.
Yeah, well.
Tulane on the road to take on the Black Knights.
Oh, that's
going Army. Both teams 3-1. Army is known for that darn running attack. Matter of fact, all 3 of the darn academies are known for the goddamn running attack.
Well, you got to do what you got to do with lesser talent.
Dallas, I'm going out of them. I'm taking Tulane.
Why would you do such a thing?
Hey, man, I'm going out on a limb.
It's a limb. I don't know if you watched a Tulane game lately, but
I'm going out on a limb. Here we go. Air Force is at Navy.
Oh, that's the toughie. If you've grown up in the South long enough, you understand why an Air Force Navy game is a hard one to pick. Daddy was Navy, Grandpa was Air Force, aunts and uncles was Army. So, but a Mountain West team versus an American team. An American team that just lost handedly to an in-conference opponent. I think I'm going to go Air Force with this one.
I'm going Navy. All right. The last of the group of 5 the last group of 5 matchup, because the other group of 5 team is playing a Power 5 team. But the last group of 5 matchup takes us to Western Michigan and Toledo.
Actually, hold on. I need to actually. Oh no! Give me a second. I need to look that up real quick. Toledo. Let's see what they. They beat BYU. They beat Colorado State. They beat Murray State, and they lost to Kentucky by 14. Now let's see what Western Michigan's been up to. Let's see here. Okay. Ooh, blown out by Michigan State. Blew out Georgia State. Got blown out by Syracuse. Oh, and had a decent win against Central Michigan. Toledo.
We both going Toledo. Right. Now I threw this in there. That's for the fun of it. I couldn't help myself because we talked about this game during when we was previewing the college football. It's the week when Utah State takes that trip to Death Valley and take on them.
Oh, God, Jesus! It's just You just hope that LSU plays the gentleman's game and just runs it between the tackles for 60 minutes. They'll still win by 40, but let's just hope that they're gentlemen about it.
I could have had to put that one on
Jesus
there.
Christ. Just run it between the tackles, get it over with.
All right, that's your Power 5 games. I mean, your Group 5 games, not Power 5. Now we get into the Power 5 games. Now, you know, I'm going to get this out the way because we both picking Ohio State. People just don't know who victim is. Who's going to get beaten, victimized, and conquered. Michigan State. So by the time the next poll comes out, I'm expecting Michigan State to be nowhere near the top 20.
They'll probably be 35th.
Because they about to take this 35-point beat down.
And they're going to try to run the ball every possession.
Number 11, Texas, on the road to West Virginia.
Can't remember the West Virginia's official state song. It's a beautiful song. They're going to need it because Texas is going to whip that ass.
He's going to Texas. You know, that loss to Missouri still resonates in my mind, even though that's like, 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
I'm taking Texas. Usually in that situation, I'll probably take West Virginia, but that darn beatdown that they took at Missouri, yeah, I got it.
And also, we have to remember, I mean, Texas, their loss to an SEC team, they hung in there. Sam Ehlinger basically put the team on his damn back. If it wasn't for them having a Big 12 defense, you never know.
I'm sorry. Cal, your boy Herman Evans pulled up another one.
I don't know why I picked against him. Good thing I didn't bet the mortgage on it.
And they got Cal unranked. And now they got a rebound at Oregon.
Damn.
Woo! I'm taking Oregon. There's no. Yeah,
it's not so much that I think Cal is just going to be so outmatched. That offense. Usually when you are a defensive team, you do it at the sake of your offense. You do it at the sake of your defense. If you can't score the minimum amount of points required to compete with Oregon, you're not going to win no matter how great your defense is. Picking Oregon.
Hell, the minimum amount. Nobody knows the minimum amount because that boy changes every damn week.
I know. I mean, what can you do? All I know is that if you're a pro-style defensive team in college football.
And now the fan game of the week, and I'm going to say to the people, y'all got the dollars on this one.
Y'all out y'all goddamn mind. That's what y'all want.
Y'all got the dollars on this one. 14th-ranked Iowa Hawkeyes are at the Big Cow to take on 19th-ranked Jim Harbaugh and the Wolverines of Michigan.
What in the blue hell are y'all thinking voting for this? What were their options? You must have gave them a shit basket of options.
No, they had Texas, West Virginia to pick from, Michigan State, Ohio State, and Cal.
Yeah, so you didn't give them shit.
They could have added their own. That's what they usually do. Two, like it's usually 2 to 3 games they actually add on that they end up making our picks. So,
bro, what the? Okay,
I think to be honest, I think because it was actually NFL Sunday when I put it out.
I wonder how many people from the Facebook actually fucking listen to the podcast, because at this point I'm starting to wonder. There's no way in hell they must either want to hear what I'm going to say after Jim Harbaugh screws this pooch, or they just don't know how much I have bagged on Jim Harbaugh for the past 2 years.
Hey, man, pick the game.
Iowa.
He's picking Iowa. Shea Patterson's injured. They got other players injured. I'm picking Iowa.
Michigan is ranked Michigan is ranked 20th. Darnell, do you know what it actually means when the AP puts you 20th or below?
No, actually they were ranked 19. They was ranked 20th last week. They actually went up a spot.
Now I see your issue.
All they had to do was shut out Rutgers and put up. I forgot how much they put up.
Who the hell doesn't shut up Rutgers? And I think they put up 32.
That's what they voted for, man. They couldn't vote for the national game of the week because it's the national game of the week. So so they had to vote somewhere else. And they went with Iowa and Michigan. What you want me to do? What more you want me to do? I gave them a good quarterly list.
That list was bullshit, and you know it.
games can I put on there?
Something, anything. Hell, give them a freaking group of 5 option. I don't know, but dude, give them. There has to be some damn classic going on in the HBCUs this week. There's something you could have put other than a damn Michigan game where bro, if Iowa, we're not even at this point worried about the Ohio State game because we know what's going to happen. At this point, we're just trying to see if Jim Harbaugh makes it through the season. And when he loses to Iowa at home, they're going to say injured quarterback. They're going to say, oh, it was Rutgers. They're going to have so many things, Darnell.
Woo. Hey, man. That's what the schedule was, and I picked the best games. It's 14 versus 19. What more do you want from me, man? Now, the national game of the week, College Game Day, will be at Gainesville, Florida. Dallas is only one property.
Mm-hmm.
The gauntlet begins.
Oh.
7th ranked Auburn Tigers are at 10th ranked Florida Gators.
I have a side bet.
Hey, knowing me, I ain't taking it.
Oh, well, guys,
I don't know what it is, and I know I ain't taking it because I know what's coming to my Gators way. No matter what.
Guys, Felipe Franks, God bless his broken ankled soul, put down a promise. Now, you see, you could take the shred, but just straight bet. You could go Florida over Auburn when Auburn's kind of hot themselves. You can bet on the backup quarterback with College Game Day and all that stuff not succumbing to pressure, or you can grab your cojones. You can grab your gonads. You could try to pay off the penthouse's mortgage. Somebody's going to put up 50, and it ain't going to be Florida.
Are you saying Auburn's going to score 50?
Darnell, what I am saying is, if you want to better your life and achieve financial independence, I would take that side bet because I don't think it's going to happen. However, Felipe Franks said 50s were being put up. Somebody going to have to put up 50.
Ain't nobody putting up no damn 50.
I'm just saying.
I'll be surprised this game is 20-17.
I'm just saying, Darnell, I know you be eyeing that nice house down the street. If you just put the side bet, if you just take me up on the side bet, Darnell.
Why would I take you on the side bet and I got to go to LSU next week?
Well, hell, if you could score 50 on Auburn, what you think? Who has the better defense, LSU or Auburn?
Yeah, they both about the same. Even though some people probably I can't think of the word right now, but after Vanderbilt put up 38 on LSU defense, but they was already at 66.
I mean, come on, if Vanderbilt can put up 38, do it for Felipe. Take the side bet.
Hell no. I am not taking no side bet. There will be no 50 points put on the board by any one of the schools in this game. Hell, they might combine for 50.
You don't get the Tesla betting the straight pick, Darnell.
The reason why I do good in picks, even though I'm trailing you this year, is because I don't do the side picks. I stick to who I am.
The reason why you're driving the Civic instead of the Hummer HX is because you keep doing the straight picks.
Well, at least I can get to where I need to get to. It ain't about fashion either.
I mean,
and to be honest, I know the line ain't out yet, but it's going to be in favor of Auburn. And I don't care. Florida for the upset.
Damn, wait a minute. Hold on. You're a top 10 team playing at home. College Game Day is coming to you, and you're going to call it an upset?
Yes.
You're so confident in your team. I might need to take a trip up to Biloxi this weekend. I'll go Auburn.
Well, we are ranked second in interceptions, second in total defense, first in.
Gus Malzahn loves to run that power spread. Ball's going to be up in the air a couple times,
I did say points a lot.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, you did. Yeah, so
I'm taking Florida this weekend, and I'm going to pray about next weekend. Because we go in the Baton Rouge.
How many games do we disagree on so far?
Let's see. I took Tulane.
Mm-hmm.
I took Navy. And I took Florida.
Well, I'll take Auburn. Because as of right now, we only got 3 games. You're already about to lose that Tulane Army pick, so.
They both 3-1, so I like it.
See, this is how I know that you're not you just walk up in the damn store and just pick the bottle of wine that looks the most purple, don't you? You got to know what you're talking about. You got to know the flavors. You got to know the taste. And Tulane is not the exact year. They have not aged well enough to beat this damn Army team in this era. This is the best Army to look since the damn 40s.
There's only one game. It's still 2 other games, so I can still catch.
Yeah, you can. That's why I'm picking Auburn, because for the sake of it, I mean, hell.
You're gonna pick Auburn anyway.
Oh yeah, shit. I'm trying to pay off this future mortgage. I'm taking the side bet. I'm going somewhere, putting down this damn.
So, all right, that's what we got for you. We both going UCF. We both going LSU. We both going Iowa. I'm going with my Gators. He's going Auburn. I'm going Tulane. He's going with the Knights. I'm both going Texas. We both going Toledo. I'm going Navy. Going Air Force. We both going Ohio State to just beat the dog race off Michigan State.
You know, now that I think about it, Felipe wasn't wrong. There was a team from Florida this week that did hang 50 on somebody. They just didn't play in college. God bless you, Felipe.
You still on that? He don't even play no more.
Hey, Felipe said a team from Florida was hanging 50 every week. We just thought it was going to be the Gators.
The man hasn't played for 2 games.
And Tampa played for 1 yesterday.
As you can see, he's taking a shot at me because he knows it's going to happen on the NFL podcast. So yes, I am an angry fan, right? When we talk NFL. And I'm going to let it loose. Because, my team's got beaten. And Dallas over there having a joyous time because they actually beat them.
Hey, I have a quarterback. Running backs, you can play too.
So I'm not looking good. Dallas is having all the fun in the world. So that's coming on the NFL podcast. And until then, enjoy your week. Enjoy your college football. We'll be back.
T, if you listen to this, fuck your entire city. You had one job, and that was to beat the Titans. So fuck you and fuck them too.